Hi, I'm Carol Ann Tutera. I've spent the last 2 decades advocating as we age to embrace aging, being authentic in what I call the Sotapelli lifestyle. Hi, today we have Miss Bobbi, who is a personal trainer, an influencer, and a model. She's been in training for over 30 years, and she is living proof that being fit and feeling fabulous is always waiting for us even after 50. She encourages us to hang in there no matter what we're going through, because at any time in our life, it can make a sudden turnaround. She believes fitness can be one of the vehicles that can bring that turnaround, as it was for her. So tell me, Miss Bobbi, what was it that turned your life around then?
Oh, I think really just having the courage to step outside myself and do something that I was uncomfortable with, which was a bikini competition over age 50.
Good for you.
Yeah, totally gave me the confidence that I needed to really get out of some negative situations that were happening in my life. That I was really unhappy with for a long time. But just knowing that I could stick with something, that I got great results from it, it gave me so much confidence. And I think that really is the key.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about yourself. We know the high level view. What is it that people should know about Miss Bobbi?
Oh, boy, I love fitness. I've just always been interested in it, but I really didn't get my best body until I was over 55. Even though I was a personal trainer and I was in the fitness business for a long time, I was like most women, where they just wanted to do cardio. You know, we think cardio is the way to stay in shape, and that is nothing could be further from the truth. We really need to build muscle, especially after age 30. We continue to lose muscle yearly. And then also the other key part is figuring out the eating for you. So those two things I think people get confused about, and I like people to know that there's definitely a way to go for you. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So as we age, and I know how important it is to exercise, and I know how important it is to lift weight. I was just actually showing off my lovely little arm muscle to my sister, and she's laughing at me. So that felt real good.
Yeah.
Because I have 11 years on her, but that's okay. Tell me, what stereotypes do you feel exist about aging?
Oh, that we have to just, give in to being God bless them, because I love them, our grandmothers, or, that we just have to give it up and give it over to gaining weight, being out of shape, just looking older than what we normally feel. And the thing is that with the women that I've worked with, and I think it's really true, we never want to, we always want to look our best, and we always care about how we look, no matter if you're 30 or if you're 90.
So do you feel that women look and feel their best for other women, or for themselves, or for their other in their life, the male counterpart? Because I know what I feel, but I want to hear what you think.
Well, that's a really good question. And I think definitely at different times of your life, those things can be a motivation, all three of them. So I think definitely if you're in like a new relationship, or say you're suddenly find yourself single like I was, that's definitely a motivation.
Yeah.
To wanting to look your best and, stay and feel sexy and fit, So I know that a lot of women who recently become single at this age, they, that kind of puts a fire underneath you to get in shape. And other times it can be, hey, I'm going on vacation with a bunch of other women and, I want to look good. And I say, hey, whatever, whatever keeps you motivated as long as it's healthy and, and doesn't cause any ill feelings or anything. So,
Yeah.
And that's a really good key to it, because sometimes with women, there's so much underlying competition going on, whether you realize it subconsciously or not.
Yeah.
And as long as you're doing it, I've always dressed for myself because I was raised in the menswear business. So I love looking and feeling my best because of my family upbringing. And I always got sneers from other women because I like to match things up. Call me cuckoo, but, everything matches except there's one odd piece that has to stick out. That's what I've learned about myself. And there's such a competition that it really saddens me. And I think this happened up until about, I'm in my mid-60s, almost. Until about early 60s, that other women look at you like, you look too good, you look too young, you look like this, you look like that. Why don't you eat more? You barely eat.
Yeah.
I'd really like to see it where, the women are supporting each other more. We should be cheering each other on and saying, you look great, you look wonderful. How fantastic for you. For you to do a bikini competition after 50, my hat's off to you. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, I think that definitely, that kind of cattiness or, stuff does happen, especially when you first meet somebody. But I think if you can get past that in a relationship with other women, then you can become more supportive. And definitely as we get older, I find that we're more each other's cheerleaders than not, because it's a hell of a lot harder than it was when we were in our 20s. But I still find that sometimes I'll get a little bit, I'll wonder, there's a certain situation that'll happen, and I'll wonder, well, is it because I'm still fit and older and look good for my age from younger people? And so it's it's just, I think it's kind of human nature a bit, a little bit. But, if we're aware of it, hopefully we can ease that. I work with a lot of women, too, and so I have to really be open and show myself to them and who I am, and that way, it makes people feel more comfortable with me to open up, too.
Right,
So,
especially in your position. You've got to be in these great little outfits, cheering women on, supporting them. And I'm sure, there's probably that competition in there. And I think if you're sharing from your heart, that'll soften everything between, you and if it's a group or you on 101, with people, I don't know.
Yeah, and gosh, that's what we want, Who wants that, it's easier one-on-one. But, it does, I think it happens more like when you're in a group with a group of women. It tends to get heightened a little bit, that competition and stuff.
Right.
And some of it can just be in good jest, too, but other times it can be really hurtful to some people. And, we want to, as we've gotten older, I think I've realized, and I know a lot of my friends have realized, too, that, we really just want to build each other up. I mean, there's enough crap out there to tear us down.
Boy, isn't that the truth?
Isn't that the truth?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when you do your training, is it one-on-one? Is it in groups? What does your day look like?
Yeah, well, lately it's just, I'll have a few clients that come to my studio in my home, and then I've started to get a lot more online clients, too. So I've got a couple hours in the day for that worked out. And then I also have a group of women on Facebook that I work with. I'll do like monthly challenges or 6-week challenges. And right now we're going through like a 6-week glute challenge, and it's been really fun. And it's a great group, too. Talk about women supporting each other. I just kind of set the tone for that, and that seems to be the type of women that are attracted to what I do. And I always say that's why they call it personal training, right? Because that person you're going to personally relate with.
Right.
And you know that you're going to be able to learn from them and get from them what you need. So, but anyway, so it's a great group of women, and they've been super supportive to everybody new that comes in the group, too. So
nice. So how do people find you online to be a client? And what does that look like?
Yeah, so I am on Instagram, Modern Bodies Fitness. and there's information there to get a hold of me. My website is bobbiparker-hall.com, and that's Bobbi with an I. And then on Instagram or on Facebook, I'm Modern Bodies Tribe. Or you can find me, Bobbi Parker Hall, too, on my personal page. So I'm pretty easy to find.
Good. And I'm looking at your picture, and I'm telling you, you're pretty easy on the eyes there, Missy.
Well, thank you.
Well, I'm impressed.
Oh, thank you.
I may be tiny, but I am not that fit. So now I have a goal to reach.
Oh, yeah. Well, it goes back and forth, right? So, I stay pretty fit most of the time, but I definitely have my times where if I'm not, working towards a competition, that's why it's great to have a goal that, you can lighten up a little bit and enjoy life. But when I'm heading into a competition, I'm definitely focused and, eating really clean and I do most of the time, too, because I do believe food is medicine.
Right.
And not only does it help us look better, but it just helps us feel better emotionally and in every other way.
So give us some tips on staying motivated and fit.
That's a good question. Okay, so if you're one of those people that thinks cardio is going to get you to where you want to be, it's not just cardio, but it is, it's building that muscle with the weights and, yes, doing some cardio, but you don't have to kill yourself with an hour of cardio. Get a good weight training program down 3 to 4 days a week. You should spend anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour if you can, spare that much. A lot of people can't. So, I work with a lot of people that, they've only got 30 minutes. And so there's things you can do to build muscle in that amount of time. You can get to where you need to be in that amount of time. Because the other end of it is the food. So, and that's really where the big education comes in for a lot of people, I find, is that figuring out what works with them, for them, as far as their food and the types of food that they can eat and the types of food they need to switch over to eating. So that's really where you're going to see the most results. But it kind of takes the most time and most education.
Right.
But when it kicks in, it's like there ain't no stopping you.
Oh, good. Because tell me about the food section then. So you're saying as we age, we should start changing our diet then as well, yes?
Well, if you need to, if you've never been to where you want to be as far as how your body looks, right? So usually what I like to do is macros, the macronutrients for people. That's your proteins, your carbs, and your fats, finding out the percentage that works for you. Usually it's, for most women, it's higher protein, a little bit lower fat, a little bit lower carbs, but not cutting anything out, but eating it in the right amount, lined up with how much exercise you're doing to, create a calorie deficit at the same time, enough protein to build muscle. So, and then, just eating clean, 80% of the time. I'm really good at figuring out, these healthy little treats to sneak in there when you need them, like that 3 o'clock in the afternoon time that hits, and you're eating that piece of chocolate or something. So that's why I like macros, because it's more about flexible dieting. So people can have some flexibility with their diet and not feel like they're, giving up everything. And maybe you want to have a glass of wine, here and there too. So you can fit that in also. So
I know all about the menopause side.
Yes.
And so tell me how the fitness, the menopause, and the hormones all work together for you then.
Oh, the hormones are awesome. So about 5 years ago, I got on Sotapella hormones, and through a client of mine, she was telling me how wonderful they were, how she's like sleeping at night, she's having the best sex of her life with her husband. She's like just, doing great. And, I still had that little fear in the back of my mind about hormones that happened, I don't know how long ago, that negative press that went on about it. And, so I finally, after months of hearing her talk about this, I think I do need this in my life, because I was not sleeping. I had my bladder would bulge into the vaginal area, and it was super painful during sex. And I just, I went through menopause early, so like at 42, and by 47 I was done with it. So this was just, 5 years ago when I was, 55 or so. So anyway, I went to my naturopath, I got my blood measured and tested, and he put me on the hormones, and I've never looked back. They have been a lifesaver. I think it's really important to get that part of it figured out with your body. So many women have thyroid problems, and then the hormones, and are on, and a lot of people are on medications. And I've seen a lot of people get off medications as they get fit, when it's necessary. Yeah, so that's been great. So the more clean you are with your body, the more cleaner your body can respond to exercise and weight loss and stuff. But the hormones are life-changing, I think, for people. And all the women that I've told about them have come back, months later and thank you.
Yeah, do you find...
Thank you so much.
Oh, I know. And do you find that they're getting more out of their routine with you as they work out?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. It definitely helps. I was in shape. I did my first bikini competition and got in my best shape of my life before without, but I got on them soon after that. But it was definitely life-changing because your body, you can't build muscle without getting a good night's sleep. And most of us that are going through the change, are waking up at 3 a.m., right? Especially if you've had a glass of wine or something. You're like, boom, wide awake. And, your body's not going to be able to metabolize and to grow the muscle that it needs for to get to you to where you want to be without really having your hormones figured out. Now, food can help with that, too, because food affects our hormones, healthy eating. So all of that combined together is great. But thank God for soda pellet.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So I don't know if you can answer this question for me, but I get asked this a lot. Why is it if you don't sleep at night, you gain weight?
Oh, good question. I believe that it has something to do with your cortisol levels and how your metabolic system then works. I'm not a scientist so I don't know all of the details, but I think that it definitely has something to do with the way your metabolism reacts and will release, I think it's more cortisol. I could be totally wrong.
Yeah.
So,
right.
But it definitely will contribute to belly fat and stress. So your body's not, getting the sleep it needs, so it's not de-stressing as it needs. So...
Well, we'll have to look into that. We'll look into you to get the fitness as we age, and we'll have to find out why that happens to us so we can marry the two together.
Yes, definitely.
So,
definitely. Well, it's I've read about it before, but I just can't remember it at the time. But I know that it does contribute to belly fat, and it does contribute to lack of sleep will not let your muscles repair as well, and you will not build muscle as well.
Oh, thanks for the share. That's good to know.
Yeah.
So I'm going to circle back to chasing your dreams because you said you found the muscle necessary to be true to yourself. What muscle are you talking about, girlfriend?
I am talking about my confidence and just,
good.
I lived in, and, people can do this whether they stay married or not. I'm certainly not advocating at all for divorce, but I had a, 30-year marriage that was just extremely hard, and we did everything but turn ourselves inside out to try and make it work. But I think that I just was feeling so beat down in my life at that time, and I had so many dreams of who I wanted to be, and my kids were gone, and so now it's just a time that you naturally start to focus back on yourself again, and you still got a lot of living to do,
right?
And you want to do it, and
right.
if you in a situation where you can't express yourself, and you're never going to evolve as that person that you see yourself being, and you don't have that support, it's like you're cut off at the knees, and it can cause, to me, I just had read enough to know that being this unhappy and depressed is going to cause serious illness in the long run. So I just found the muscle because I stepped outside my box and did something for me. And at the same time, I do believe, too, when I got on the hormones, that it sort of reset me mentally, too. And I just found the strength that I needed to leave my marriage. It was very toxic and very unhealthy. And I was afraid. I was terrified to be on my own. But, I realized this is going to be worse staying because I'm, probably going to sink even deeper into depression and, give up on everything that I hope and dream about. So anyway, I took the bold move and did it and left. And I see it happening for many women that I work with, too. They're expressing themselves not in the same way I did, but in their way. And many of them are like rekindling their marriage, or they're, going after things that they wanted to do when they were younger, but they gave up on, and lovingly so, to raise a family or to, care for others. But now it's time for them again. And so getting fit, feeling strong, I believe translates into helping you realize yourself as a person even more. So life is not over just because we're, this age.
No, not at all. It's not over at any age until God says it's over. So keep going and keep dreaming.
Yeah, and it can be the best time of your life. It certainly is for me. And I want to share that with other people and help them achieve that if that's what they want.
Good. And I love the fact that you called confidence a muscle. I love that. Because
everything's a muscle to me.
It is. It's well, I could see that. But it's a muscle you have to constantly work on for yourself. You have to. It's an inside job, and nobody else can do it for you. You've got to build all this up yourself.
Yes, yeah, and I know for me too, like meditation has been key for that, and just really working on my thought patterns and the things that I say to myself, and getting rid of trying the best I can to get rid of any negative thoughts that I tell myself about myself. So it's really, reworking those thinking patterns in your brain, and meditation and quiet time can help with that.
Right.
You got to first realize what you're saying to yourself and what you're telling yourself, and then you've got to come along and kind of reparent yourself from, maybe it's from your past or whatever, or things that your parents said to you. So doing a lot of that type of work too has helped.
That's extremely healthy work, and I think a lot of people really need to get on that one and really concentrate on how they talk to themselves. It's amazing.
Yeah,
we have that mind chatter going on constantly back there, constantly.
Oh, I know. We don't even realize it sometimes until you slow down for a minute, take a little breather, and go, oh my, when you realize it, it's like an epiphany. You're like, what?
Right.
Wow. So this is why I keep creating this in my life,
So when you got the confidence muscle working, was your training different before that and after that?
Yeah, well, I feel like I went through, like I said before, I was doing a lot of cardio for my workouts, trying to stay in shape. And I've never been more than like 10 or 15 pounds overweight, just because most of my life I've been a fitness trainer. But, figuring out how to lose that 10 to 15 pounds can be the hardest. And so I feel like, I really got that figured out, just the knowledge and the experience of going through, the bikini competitions and really figuring, when you're going to stand naked practically in front of people, you're like, I'm going to really figure this out. So it just dialed in what I already knew to a finer degree. And since then, I've been able to, keep pretty much with that for myself and to help others to really get great results. So
your clients got the benefit of your hard work. Isn't that nice?
Yes, absolutely. So
bravo.
Yeah.
So what was your best experience after 50?
Oh, meeting the love of my life.
Oh, there you go.
So, yeah, Yeah, so that was my best experience. And he's truly super supportive and has been amazing. And it was, we always feel like, we just met the love of our lives at such a later time in life that it just kind of, it's amazing, really. So,
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
So we're going to wind up, and we're going to ask the last question I like to ask everyone is, where do you find joy in your life?
That's a great question. I think that, the husband, the guy that I'm married to now, he was married for 30 years also, and his wife passed away from brain cancer, and she, was just always doing stuff for everybody, but also like super concerned, her house is always perfect and all that kind of stuff, which mine isn't. But, and, what he says, after she died, what people remembered most about her was how she loved them and how she spent time with them. Not about all the little things she did and made her house perfect and had, this collection and that collection or whatever. But, it wasn't about what she had. It was about how she loved people. So I'm trying to really focus on that, and it's easier because I'm older now. When I was younger, it's more about, I want to make money or I want to, be famous or whatever.
Right.
And now it's more, about relationships with people. And I really find that it really brings a lot of contentment and being, I know this sounds kind of trite because everybody says it today, but really cultivating thankfulness in your life for where you're at and what you do have, not what you don't have. And it really brings you a sense of satisfaction, which to me is joy.
You know what? I'm right behind you. I agree with all of that. I was just talking with a girlfriend this morning about how friends and family and relationships, at the end of the day, are more important than anything else. Absolutely.
Amen. Yeah. I agree.
So I'd been through the loss of a spouse, and it was devastating about 4 years ago. And you really learn what's important anymore. You truly do.
It is a great equalizer.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so true.
Miss Bobbi, thank you. It's been a delight chatting with you.
Yes,
I really appreciate it, and good luck on your journey.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. So, here is your assignment for the week until we meet again. It is important for you to think about what can you do to celebrate you. What's going to make you happy? What's your authentic self? Let's hear what you've done. Make sure you let us know what you're doing to take care of yourself. Did you go out and see the sunset? Did you go see a sunrise? Did you give someone a smile today? Did you hug someone for no reason? What's one way you can celebrate yourself and report back in?